An event a month sounds like a lot. And it is. We Granblue players are actually real spoiled when it comes to story content release. But when you write down the numbers on paper, only 12 events a year is barely enough to fit out the narratives and characters we have. Last video, we talked about characters that have their entire storylines on hold. This time, I want to go in the exact opposite direction. Characters that have their entire plots complete. In particular, a really special case. Characters that never starred in an event, and had their complete narrative done only throughout Fate episodes. The goal here is to give you all a chance to experience an entire story from start to finish, and see how far the Granblue writing has come. As such, I will try to keep spoilers from minimum, just enough to interest you. Sounds good? Let's get into it then. In my last video, some people tried to defend Seeds of Redemption, saying that it wasn't that bad. You are allowed to have your opinions, even if they are wrong. Regardless, I decided to throw you all a bone and mention one thing Seeds of Redemption did that is kinda positive, and is the segue to the first character on this list. Predator started as a dark SR released in 2017, and if you played back then, you probably remember she had some uses in budget dark themes. Her story is one of vengeance and retribution, as she tries to infiltrate and exterminate the Asir crime family, a mafia group involved in all kinds of shady business, including distribution of the Serenity Heaven drug. She only has 2 units, her SR from 2017 and a dark SSR from 2020. 2020, which is the year we got Seeds of Redemption as the anniversary event. An event which happened to involve a mafia group and Serenity Heaven. While not directly involved in Seeds of Redemption, Predator's plot is intertwined with it, as her SSR Fate episodes begin right at the aftermath of the fall of the Magazine family. For Fate episodes, the release date is 99% of the time the benchmark you should use to check reading order. As such, if you want to learn about the fate of this vengeance, you can just do a straight line. Dark SR, Intro Fate and Skill Fate, followed by Dark SSR, Intro Fate and Skill Fate, in this order. She also happens to share a cross-Fate episode with Rare Tanya. That is more fluffy side content than actual development, but if you feel like reading it, probably do it before her SSR stuff. Speaking of Tanya, this is perfect timing because she's our second character. Originally a rare dark character, she dates all the way back to 2014, and surprisingly has 4 different versions, despite never being the focus of anything at all. And I say focus because, well, technically speaking, she did show up in an event before, Balmy Breeze and the Foamy Deep, the 2015 summer event, and the one to introduce us to Bonito. For starters, I would disregard this simply because it's from 2015. That's way too old. We can barely count any events as actual Granblue writing if they were from before What Makes the Sky Blue. But even if you argue that an event is an event, I actually went to check, and Tanya has less than 2050 words in the entirety of the event. And out of that, less than 15 lines actually have more than 6 words in them. Even by 2015 Granblue standards, that's a tertiary character. So, now that we have established that Tanya never showed up in an event before, let's actually talk about her. In a similar vein to Predator, she's also in a family mission, and she's also trained to fight, but her story is not one of vengeance, but one of discovery and self-reflection. All this girl wants is to find out how her father passed away. A mysterious death, and one that doesn't make sense from her point of view. She's been trying to find someone who can elucidate her late dad's final moments. While I did say that she has 4 versions, I'll be honest, the first 3 kind of don't matter a whole lot. The first one establishes her as a character and what her goal is, but every other version covers that up for you. It does work to show each small step she took in her mission, both of finding more about her father and of trying to get better at talking to other people. But for the first 3 units, the focus is way more on the later, which, let's be honest, it's not as cool or interesting. Still, character development is character development, and I do think that what we got at the end was decent enough. So the order will go something like this. From the 2014 Rare, Intro and Skill, Crossfade with Predator. From the 2015 Summer Out, Intro and Skill. From the 2016 SR, Intro and Skill. And finally, from the 2019 SSR, Intro and Skill. But, as mentioned, 95% of the story is just in the SSR unit. Feel free to go straight into that if you want. Oh, by the way, Dania recently got a Daily Point Shop skin and honestly, it slaps. And I left the best for last. While the other two have a cool story and a decent development, I think that this one easily beats them in both quality and quantity. We are talking about Razia. Firstly released as an Earth SSR in 2017, her story is also centered about her family and her father. But, damn, now that I think about it, all these girls have daddy issues, huh? That was not intentional. Anyway, she did show up in an event, but it was a walk on the wild side. And she wasn't even there. It was just an hallucination. So I don't even need to do mental gymnastics to justify this one, right? This storyline involves the fall of a country, a brainwashing sect of a cult we actually got to know really well in the main quest, grief, hope, hatred, distrust and renewal. It's surprisingly involved and got me invested in the narrative, so much so that I threw a bunch of gold books I heard, just so I could finish reading it as soon as possible. While she only has 2 units, her SSR and an Earth SR released in 2018, each Fate episode really goes the extra mile to answer old questions, introduce new ones, and develop the entire story. And it all culminated in 2023 with her 5-star uncap. Order-wise, you should go SSR intro and skill, then do the SR intro and skill. After that you can come back to read her 5-star uncap and skill episodes. What makes me really love this story is the way it concludes. The ending can be interpreted in 2 different ways. You either see what happens as something that is innate to the nature of how religious sects are, and it shows that the root of evil is humanity itself, and it will never really be cut down. Or you can see the ending as a purposely created plot hook for future development, in case they ever decide to bring Razia back, despite having a finished plot. I already liked Razia before, but couldn't really use her for anything, so I'm glad that her 5-star uncap gave her both a great kit and an incredible story, so I can justify putting them on my team. And that was it for this video. Thank you all for watching. If you do end up reading any of these Fate episodes because of me, let me know your thoughts on them in the comments. I also want to give you all my thanks for the overwhelmingly positive reception my first video got. I was really not expecting to get so much out of it. Thank you. I will try to keep making videos on different topics on a weekly basis for as long as I keep having fun doing it. And if you decide to tag along, I would love to have you on board. So anyways, this was Ducky, and I'll see you all later.